This guy working at Dump City, he belongs in jail. You shouldn't be listening to him.
Please excuse me.
Okay, there's a warrant out. Hey everyone, Brento here. Welcome to another episode of Dump City. Check out the security gates we added at the White House here. Let's go on a tour, shall we? Here we have the new Government Essentials building with all the stuff your government needs to operate. We just built this new nightclub here. Hopefully we get some tourists in there.
We are receiving news that surprisingly organized vandals have damaged civic buildings in Tropico. Do not be alarmed. This is categorically not a rebel attack.
Yeah, just never mind that. That's going on blocks away. It's nowhere near us. Greedy Bank built another franchise here. And Steely Bank will be moving in soon. Well, I wouldn't say this is the highest quality housing, but it's nonetheless housing that the Tropicans made. And let's go out into the wilds now. Let's exit the safe zone. Still lots of shacks here, but this is actually getting to be a slightly higher crime area. Here we have our Nacho Supreme Court and a giant automated mine. Something you have near every head of state's home, right? It's a common thing. We're actually making money, but what about all these shacks? This is a bit of a problem. And over here we have ourselves our prison. Remember last game? This was full.
The citizens are demanding elections, Presidente. It seems that they want a choice in how they are ruled. So selfish.
Okay, let's deliver an amazing speech here. We have some crime issues, even though we have lots of prisons. The problem is no one's actually being arrested and put in the prisons. So we'll talk about that. Let's make the intellectuals happy because they're really unhappy right now. Blame Europe as usual. And I think we can do something about housing in this episode. So let's address that.
Simplicity, that's my motto. If we have more gadgets, we'll forget how to work with our hands. Here, Presidente, while you consider my proposal, try this mung bean casserole I made from recycled newspaper.
It's too late to save the planet, Presidente. So we should fly Tropico into orbit to survive the apocalypse. Consider my proposal while I run this simulation. We flew into the sun. It's okay. Let's reload.
This one I think is a little easier to do. Let's go with that. Okay, we lost our speech because sometimes when those quests come up, we lose the speech, but I've tried this 3 times and there's no way I can get that speech to work. Let's check if we have any rebels to arrest here.
So good to see you.
Yeah, we got another one to arrest, so let's do it. We don't want any rebels. What's this guy work at? The fusion reactor. It's not a good place for a rebel. Oh, and we got a new rebel. Let's go. Off to jail with you. Oh, I got a bit carried away there. I forgot to tell you what's on the show. Well, as you might have guessed, this is another election episode. Sure, the homeless can't vote, but those that can vote are complaining about all these shacks around their apartments. I'll do a bit called Garbage Hot Dogs. Did I eat a hot dog out of the garbage? Well, you can only know if you listen longer. We will, of course, do the ever-popular More Tips for Noobs. Finally, I'm going to tell you the name of a gang I'm conspiring to create. I know this is completely legal too, because I'm allowed to say anything on the internet, right? But before we do all this, let's resume our tour of the world. Just a reminder to viewers, we're playing Tropico 6, and this is the Moon is Not Enough stage of the New Frontiers campaign. Currently, we have the Right to Bear Arms Edict in effect. This makes people happier because it gives them liberty. There's some other problems that come with it, but I thought these prisons might help out with. And we've also enabled penal colony as another edict here. But as you can see from our prison here, we have a crime problem. There's not enough of it. Or at least I made the mistake of letting people have too much privacy, so I don't know who belongs in prison right now. Alright, let's get back on our tour here. Let's see how the world's improved since the last episode. We have ourselves Green Hoax Solar. We had a quest between episodes where we had to produce 5,000 megawatts of electricity. This thing only produces basically a tenth of that.
Green energy is a scam. You give them money for solar panels, and they buy hookers with it. You never see these people again. They're all extremists.
All right, we also have ourselves Jihad Solar. We needed that for the quest. That's a lot of power.
You are still absolutely free to make the wrong choice and not help us.
You know what? I think I might do this one. I've been waiting for this one for a while. Let's queue this up. But anyways, here at Jihad Solar, we built this to generate some extra electricity. We got some interesting people that work here. Of course, we maxed out our nuclear power for the purpose of that quest. And we don't need that power now, so we've shut it down. This is the part of town where I expect to get a lot of people from my prisons. We have this police station here. Not exactly the best at enforcing the law, but hey, that's how you create crime, right? I also built a few fusion reactors over here since last episode. They added quite a bit of power. I built 3 of them. We had a few rebels working here. That was a bit of a concern. We arrested one a little bit earlier. This one's paused though, because when I built it, I couldn't build workers to get in it. It's like the door to get in is inside this bedrock here or something. But even with all these reactors here, it still wasn't enough power to achieve the quest. I had to basically shut down a bunch of factories to lower my power consumption, because the whole point was I needed 5,000 surplus megawatts to achieve the objective. So shutting down existing industries was one way to do it. Hundreds of jobs were lost, and but you know what? That's going to help with the crime problem a little bit though, right? And now we're one step closer to Mars. Got to get stuff into the space station, and the only way to do that is to build SpaceY. Right? I don't want to use any brand names here, so I make up my own. So SpaceY, which is the spaceport complex. Okay, let's check out our rebels here. We got some more to arrest. I'm just going to arrest them real quick. Oh my, what's this? We got ourselves a fire outside the fusion reactor. But while we're here, I think it's time for the most demanded part of the show. You know, the one that gets me tens of millions of emails weekly. It's time once again for more tips for noobs. Anyways, the first tip is, do you need more power at your fusion reactors? Enable sacrifices must be made. Look what it does. It increases productivity by 30%. As long as you have dozens of people in line for a job, the risk is negligible. Okay, and for the next tip, let's head over to the rough part of town here and check out a clinic. Are you worried your people aren't crazy enough to fill your prisons? Well, be sure to use quacks instead of real doctors. I frankly didn't invest in a single education building, so hiring real doctors is an actual challenge. Having a high school grad working as a doctor is a good value for communities where you want to engineer crime in, just like real capitalist-controlled governments do. And then the final tip is, for your hydroponic plantations, you got this option here. Allow local consumption. Allowing local consumption saves you the expense of paying a merchant to sell it later. Think of it as okay shoplifting, like you see in many high-crime cities. Not sure if this increases the likelihood of creating a criminal, but fingers crossed. Okay, let's get back to some gameplay here. So we had some contracts that basically came up here, and I got to sign some new ones. So I'm going to send this to Russia here. Okay, we got a big juice contract with Russia. Where else were you expecting me to send this to? China?
Oh boy, you should probably let me do more of the show.
Let's see what trends are coming up here. We can't do any of these contracts quite yet, but I think it's time to set up a weapons deal. Let's do that now. All right, let's set one up. Maybe we'll send that to the Middle East. That seems like a good place to send weapons to. Check out these shacks while we're here. See, you might think these are like low quality shacks that cause all kinds of problems, but you'd be wrong. So we have this building here. Louis Vuitton. And it has this work mode where all housing quality is basically increased by 5%. And that includes the shacks. So if you look at some of these shacks here, see this housing quality here? Look at this one here. This one has a housing quality of 37. That's a pretty high-end shack. If you look at the shacks in the slummier parts of town, like over here, 21. See, these shacks are near the center of power, so we want to make sure our drifters aren't as disgruntled as in other neighborhoods. We want them to have the best shacks. Let's see what kind of people live in these shacks. Ooh, this person's poor. That's not good. Better arrest them just in case. Jessica Smith?
Ugh, what a day.
Poor as well. Sure seems suspicious a poor would want to live near a rich. We got some well-off people in these shacks. I mean, it's not like it's... I just didn't build any houses for them. Oh, we found another poor here.
My bones ache today.
Not sure who's actually a criminal here, but better safe than sorry. Let's check out this election here. How are we doing with the polling? 57%, we're doing not bad. I'm surprised. People are probably...
We talk about the issues, Presidente. Certainly the people are concerned about the issues. It's past time someone did something.
This one we were going to do anyways. I can build a house. I was literally about to build some houses here. Remember we promised to improve housing, so I have an idea to boost these numbers even further. And that involves basically getting rid of a bunch of these shacks. I think one of the issues people are having here is that I've kept the immigration rate very high. Basically, I've increased it by 50%, and there's basically no free jobs. But there's other openings for opportunities for immigrants when they come here. Look at that, we're putting a few people in our prison. Also, this prison over here, we've rebranded it. I was having some trouble filling it. I've made this a very low security prison. Come on, people. Rob some tourists for us. It's a victimless crime. You know what? Since we're near the palace here, let's do something about this housing. Eventually, we're going to have to build some houses to honor our election promise. So first things first, we go over here into the politics. We hire ourselves a communist. This discounts the price of residential buildings. Let's do that. Let's go over here and enable urban development, the 5-year plan.
As much as the people enjoy sleeping under the stars and huddling together for warmth at night in their ramshackle lintus, it might be worth considering some long-term plans for housing.
All right, let's issue that. And now we get cheaper housing. Let's go and build some. So let's build a few mansions right off the bat. Let's build the best mansions we can. Okay, let's build one here. And let's build another one right here. Look at that. See, we're getting rid of the shacks. Let's give them some names. Che Vance. And let's call this one Che Rubio. There we go. Couple of mansions. I'm going to squeeze a few houses in this area too. Let's see what we can fit in here. I'll hold shift down while building them. There we go. There's one house, another house. Yep, one over here. Oh, Mike Johnson needs a house too. What am I doing? Did I forget to build Mike Johnson his mansion? It's ridiculous. Right there. Che Johnson. Let's set these all to high priority. We want these mansions built first. And let's build some happy little houses in the area too. How about, one here. Build another here. Build another over here. Let's also build some happy apartment buildings. Let's put one here. And another right here. Oh, let's build another little happy house here. And let's build one of these capsule home clusters right here. Just to cover up these last few shacks. The poorest can live in these things. Don't want to have too many of them though. All right, we got rid of all our shacks. Check it out. No shacks in the neighborhood. This is now a very fancy neighborhood.
I don't know what's worse, the guy playing the game or his voice acting.
Alrighty, so now we just gotta wait for the election. I think we're gonna win this in a landslide. This is the trick to it. Don't let poor people vote. It seems like as long as you keep the poor people out of view of the rich people, they seem to support you. We did increase our approval rating even further by, like, we don't have to pay these things. Honestly, I could just cancel all these projects right after the election, and, you know, it was a way for me to have gotten rid of all the shacks. Uh-oh, we got a fire. Let's send the helicopter. Let's see if this fire goes out before the election ends. They're voting right now. I don't know why they're so mad at whoever did this.
These are sick people.
Why would they set fire to our brand new nightclub? I don't get it. This is terrible. And some other suspicious activity in the neighborhood.
The election is a landslide, Presidente.
Yay, we won again. Let's have a look if we need to make some constitutional revisions here. Citizens not allowed to emigrate? I think that looks good. Let's see how our personal rights are set up. Oh, but we have a problem here. We better go to total surveillance. We just finished our Ministry of Information, and let's check the separation of power here. Okay, this one too. If we're going to be arresting a lot of people, I think we want this one for the 90% off coupon. Let's get our volume discount. Let's amend our constitution and go with that.
Presidente, I know you always keep your promises, but the citizens today can be very exacting about what counts as a fulfilled promise.
Okay, so yeah, we got to do this here, or we're going to have a lot of... We won't get elected next time if we don't do that, so... That's why I started these housing projects soon, so we really do have to build some of these mansions at least, and some of these apartment buildings to realize this objective. Okay, it's time for one of the bits of the show. Let's do garbage hot dogs. As many of you know who watch this show regularly, I live in poverty. This is the outcome of being an inventor and entrepreneur in an era where capital interests decide what products we get. Not scientists, not governments, nor even consumer demand. Since I have no other form of income until this show takes off, I have to get by on less than $50 per month on food. How do I survive on this? Well, a food bank helps, but I also don't waste anything. I've shared stories about eating rotten meats and even a rotten watermelon in previous episodes, but never the story of garbage hot dogs. So this all started when I was looking for something to eat in the fridge. I found some containers that got pushed to the back of the fridge. You know how that sometimes happens? And I hadn't noticed them in months. I found some moldy mozzarella cheese, some tzatziki sauce, and some rotten onions. Naturally, I trimmed the mold from the cheese and the onions and gave some other items the smell test. When eating rotten foods, the first stage is the gag reflex. And yeah, they all passed, so on to the next stage. I then went through the condiments and realized I had a mustard container that was almost a decade old. How did it get there? Oh right, I never used mustard. So time to get rid of this too, I figured. The mustard made me think maybe hot dogs could be an idea, so I checked the freezer if I had any. Lucky me! At the bottom of the freezer was a dozen badly freezer-burnt hot dogs and buns. They had been there for almost 5 years, but frozen. Once I thawed the buns, they were stale, but as any poor person knows, just hydrate them with a bit of water, put them in a bag for an hour. It worked miracles. Fluffy, soft hot dog buns. They developed an intriguing taste, in fact. I then cooked the hot dogs and caramelized the onions in a frying pan, shredded the cheese, covered it with tzatziki sauce and mustard sauce. Now, in previous stories like this, the question is usually if I got sick or not. Clearly, if you have been paying attention, nothing here would evidently be too dangerous to eat. Not like that 28-day-old expired refrigerated chicken thighs I ate a few months ago. The question here is, did it taste good? Yes, it actually was quite good. Again, I'm a decent cook, so that's part of it. Perhaps someday this channel will take off and I can make gourmet garbage hot dogs instead. Okay, back to the game here. I just want to show you one other thing too that's happened between episodes while we wait for these houses to get built, doing this objective. Remember our tourist district in the last episode? Well, basically we had constant rebel attacks and they destroyed the golf course, and I basically paused a bunch of these buildings here because frankly every time the rebels attacked it was a problem, so maybe we'll fix that up for next episode. I built this though, Fort Gloat. I got some guard towers here that might help with it. Once this is all built, once we have the defenses set up, we'll have a bit of a tourist district for the final episode at this stage. Also, in terms of edicts here, a couple more I didn't go over, is we have the military police in effect. So these forts and these military bases can act as police stations, which is kind of handy. And a little bit pricey, but my other police stations don't actually arrest people. They just kind of make people cause more crimes to service my prison industry a little bit better. And I also added this too. This is something new. National Day. So this lowers the crime safety even further. So that's another combo I got going here. I don't know if these other benefits are worth it, but I really am not interested in. I consider lowering crime safety a positive in this world. Another thing too that's been built since the previous episode, a new weapons factory. Remember episode 1 where we went over this? We built weapons. I won't go over the full supply chain. But basically we got like a steel mill here. And throughout our little town here, we got all the reagents we need to actually make some weapons. Another thing we built here is the Ministry of Information. I was wondering, hey, what happens if I arrest the faith leader? I know we're trying to create less faith people here, but if I arrest their leader, would that also make less of them? I didn't want to do that before the election, but there's only one way to find out. Well, look at that. It's only $25 to arrest them. That's a good constitutional improvement we've made here. Yeah, I was reluctant to do that before the election, but hey, we have 10 years to fix it, so... Another thing too, let's have a look at our metro system. This was built since last episode. See all these circles here? That's a metro station. Okay, so I put them basically around our industrial and wealthy sector, but I didn't give any service to, you know, the sector we don't want people to have jobs in. Wow, lots of rebels. This Ministry of Information's in covering a lot of stuff. Looks like Brento is in custody now. That's a good thing. You know, let's boost the priority of these apartment buildings here. We want to get these all done on time. All right, that should hopefully get our housing mission done. We got to get people to move into these here. Like, technically, I didn't fix the housing problem. The shack's just rebuilt outside over here, so we need to do a bit of something about that. You know, just a suggestion to the game developers here, but I think urban development should increase communist standing a lot. It doesn't really do anything right now. Maybe plus 20 or something. Maybe minus 10 for capitalists and conservatives. But this should be something viewed as very communist. I'm surprised there is no communist bonus on that. Let's go back to silly mode. And now, while I wait for all this to get built, let's talk about my idea for a new gang. Are there groups of people...
Thanks for your help, Presidente. Remember, listening to me is always the right thing to do.
That was an easy quest to do. Are there groups of people out there who are employed by rich and powerful people to collectively like and dislike content to boost or lower signals of channels? Of course there are. Rich people would not exist if they didn't have a base of employees to covertly boost their own products. Duh. So this gave me an idea to remain competitive. The formation of my very own gang. What do you think of the Outlaw Likers? Isn't that a cool and intimidating name? Want to join? Well, to get initiated, of course, you start by liking this video. But if you want to be a hardcore member of my gang, you need to watch several other of my videos too. Want to move up the ranks? Join the Dump City Reddit and chat daily. See, this gang isn't just about boosting this channel. or another content creator who might happen to support Dump City on the Reddit, but also to intimidate pro-capital content creators. Wouldn't it be a shame if your content got a lot of thumbs down now, wouldn't it? Maybe just be sure not to mess with the outlaw likers. It could result in a lot of thumbs down for you. Alright, back to the game here. Let's check out some things here. Let's look at the actual overlay here. How are we doing? Oh, we got to improve our housing quality. I got to ramp this up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the efficiency of all these buildings to max. Let's get this to high priority. We want to build this capsule cluster home. Let's build one here. Make that a high priority as well. While we're here, let's improve the efficiency of these tenements. How come I can't boost the efficiency of shacks? While we wait, let's do a few more arrests. Let's check out our criminals that we found. Arrest,
Please,
arrest,
excuse me.
arrest.
See?
Tons
to arrest.
I am sorry, not today.
I'm covering the arrest button, but I
forget
think you can
something?
see half of it. I think you know what's going on here. Oh my. All these people getting arrested. Let's check out Spitter over here. +2 to them. Yeah, we got to give these intellectuals a lot of thumbs up. Okay, let's empty this dump here. Let's empty the other dump on this side of town as well. And should we empty the one in the poor part of town? I think we'll wait on that one. Oh, we got a guerrilla uprising here. I've upgraded my towers. I don't know if I can beat these. Wow. Lots of fireworks. Oh, they took out the tower. Yikes. You know, there's a cost to doing this kind of business. These towers, they're kind of pricey. Is my military going to come deal with them? I don't know what it is. It's like the workers that drive these tanks take a while to get in them. But now we're going to see some real combat here. Okay. Oh, not the best. This guy's never played World of Tanks. Well, there you go. Just run over them. That's... Alright, well, that was dealt with. Oh, look at that. One of our cluster modules was built here. Let's, I want to show you something. So did you know you can actually build other layers to these cluster homes? Like, I hold shift here and I can just keep building on it. Like that. And look at that. Look how tall these things can get. A lot of people from these shacks here are going to now have a place to live. Because poor people can live in this one. I didn't want to put it this close, but I can't really fit any mansions or expensive apartments there. Let's put solar panels on these babies. You know what, too? I think we're going to have to build a few more apartments. Some happy apartment buildings. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Let's boost the speed because we got to come to an end here. This show's dragging on forever. These missions take forever. Let's boost the speed to ×2.
Presidente, have you seen the people who toil in this man's evil factories?
This one's easy to do. I already produce apparel. I got it right on my first try there. I think we'll build the Chinese embassy in the next episode, or maybe we'll just kick the Russians out. Yeah, you know what? Let's just praise them, and then let's ask for some money, and then let's expel them. And let's invite China in instead.
How does it feel, Presidente, to
Ooh.
have one...
Lots of Swiss money. Let's build a couple of cluster apartments as well. Alright, if we don't make this objective, we're in big trouble next time. Like, I won't be able to continue this. I actually will fail the campaign, so let's not fail this. Let's check the money real quick here. I want to see how we're doing. Oh, you know what? This convict labor... I don't think this works. I think this is a flop. I make more money with ads than my convict labor. I think we're going to have to consider the possibility that profits for prisons is not a good idea. I shouldn't have built this many prisons. It was a mistake. I think, you know what? I'm just going to stop. I'm going to shut down this one. It's costing... I don't want to maintain it. I don't know what happens with those prisoners. I'm assuming they transferred to this prison. But maybe they get free when you do that. I don't really know. We got rid of some of these shacks here, though. This looks much nicer. Look how much nicer this neighborhood looks. Big improvement. Oh, we did it. I turned my head for 1 second. We appeared to have achieved the objective. Mission accomplished. Got reelected. Built some houses. Improved the quality of life for people. Didn't do so good with the prison stuff. But while we're here, let's build a few more layers to the Capsule cluster home. And watch that get really tall. That's really cool, eh? Look how many people live in these things. That's part of the new frontiers.
The palace denies all rumors concerning the development of orbital mind control lasers and asks citizens to ease up on the purchase of aluminum foil.
Well, that's all, folks. If you expected this show not to be crap, that's your own fault for watching.
Hold on a second here. I do the outros here, not Donald Dump. Anyways, that's the show on prisons for profit and various nonsense as usual. Maybe you learned something new in this episode. I covered some new topics in the game, as I always do. I'm always trying to teach a little bit more about the game in every episode, not too much. You don't even realize you're learning anything. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you next week.